I use SPY. We'll look at QQQ real quick as well. Have we hit a true bottom? It kind of faked me out. Many of you know from discussions that we've had, discussions that we've talked about, we're using technical analysis, things like that. What I'd normally like to see is a MACD bottom here, leading to the positive crossover. That's when I usually like to get in the position. This was a fake out. That's what I wanted to mention. Okay, thank you. I just reminded myself of that. This here is a stark MACD bottom, but is it real? And what I mean by is it real? You follow trends on these kind of things in the technical analysis. You have Bollinger Band breakout here. Okay, it worked out well for us. This isn't a great example. We should use another stock instead of SPY. But here we had that bottom, and it wanted to come back up. And it was, look, what did we do? We wanted to come back up. We wanted to do it. And then what was this? What date is that? We know what date that is. I hate to say it, but we know what date that is. That's April 2nd, right? This was Liberation Day, quote unquote, according to the current administration. This was Liberation Day. And that's what we saw. We know it. We lived through it. This peak here, based on, pausing the tariffs and everything, 90-day pause, other things going on, but mainly the 90-day pause, caused us this jump. We saw the bullish buys. We were looking into it, but is it true yet? I think it kind of is. You can see it. We want to do this. The market, you and me, investors, we want to be following that trend with the economy, where things were going. Outside influxes caused a panic, caused instability, caused volatility, which is great now for selling positions. Getting good premiums looking at the 2-week out bull put credit spreads. But is this real? It's so stark and it's so sudden. Is it real? I'm sort of waiting for this crossover to happen and to see this get back to its 20-day moving average. Ernie, as I mentioned, already jumped back in, I think. He already, I think, switched his puts on TQQQ. I think he bought puts, on QQQ, but now I think he's reversed and he's bought calls on TQQQ, even though they were expensive, because that implied volatility, because the fear gauge in the market. It was a conversation we had this week. But again, that's some of the ideas. That's what we're kind of looking for. And I'm the same with you. I'm seeing what I'm seeing. I'm seeing what I want to see, but I want more of a confirmed trend. But I'm still trading. I hope you're still trading. I can understand if you're not. I can understand if you're a little bit gun shy. But again, that's what I am seeing personally, what I think personally from my experience in the market. But with the concept in my head that, hey, Monday or Tuesday, I'm going to look to open new bull put credit spreads with that 12 to 15% of my portfolio I mentioned. I haven't, this is what I want to show, I haven't adjusted my married put positions yet. March 21st, these are some NVIDIA positions we were discussing for our last presentation. And no, that's not what I wanted. I'm sorry. I want the other one. No, this is good. I'm sorry. This is what I wanted. So in the portfolio view, what do we have? I've got Trex that I have to manage in the next 5 or 6 days, as well as on Holdings. On Holdings is down 26% from where I originally purchased it. We're only at a loss of 3.1%. Craft is down 1.6%. I'm at a gain of 0.1%. With the Mary Put Planet Fitness down, not getting back to square one. We're up 0.4%. Pure Storage down 31.2%. An ongoing married put position, we're only down 1.3%. Trex is the curious one. We're coming into summer. I think I'm going to roll this. I think I'm going to take my maximum risk up to about 11 or 12%. But again, the stock's down almost 40%. I'm only losing 8.5. With this downturn, what do I have? I have an April 62.5 put on. I have a May 105 put on Planet Fitness, 80 put on Pure Storage, which is at 41.08. Why haven't you rolled these down? Why haven't you taken the profit off of these puts? Because again, just as with what I'm talking about broad market-wise with SPY, I don't want to necessarily roll these puts down yet until, storage is so close, until I see what I want. And until that confirmation happens. See, here's the fake out. You can see it here on my stocks. A lot of them look like this. This was the perfect time where I thought I should have rolled down this put to the 48 strike, 50 strike from my 80 strike on Pure Storage. taken all the profit off, reset the married put, still had maybe a 9-10% risk on the position with an unlimited upside profit. That's the signal I look for. But what did I know was coming up? AKA Liberation Day, April 2nd. Didn't want to do anything until then. Now, here we go again. Outside influences. We had what we wanted, and Pure Storage moved back up when we saw that bottom. But a major market event was coming up, and it hit. Okay. That's why I haven't done yet. Some of the radioactive traders, blueprint owners, fusion subscribers, why haven't you rolled down your puts yet? You're standing on a lot of profit on these puts. Because the only time I'm going to look to roll down that put is when I feel that it's stabilized, and now we're going to start going back into this. I have to see other things. Now, that's my approach, maybe too conservative. But again, this is the conservative portion of my portfolio. But you see exactly what I'm looking for. This is when I normally would have done this without the knowledge of the next event coming up that could put the market in flux. He announced it. We knew it was April 2nd. He knew they were coming. So now I'm waiting. Now, if I start to see exactly what I said, that crosses, this dips, this gets back to its SMA 20, I'm going to roll that put down. I'm going to restructure the Pure Storage trade, shake the profit off that put. Essentially, I'm getting paid to average down my position following the rules in the blueprint. Just haven't seen the confirmation I wanted yet. Without an external event that could cause havoc in the market that we saw as well. All right. So, but that's just some thoughts. Why haven't I adjusted these yet? Why am I still sitting on these? It's because I'm waiting for that confirmation. Maybe too conservative, but again, that's the idea of the structure. That's the idea of what we're looking for here. We're still opening other positions, comparing other positions too. This is a comparison we're going to get into in a few weeks. Don't worry about that, folks. But again, as I mentioned, the discussions we've had, VIX calls, you can just go to our channel, use that search feature, look at VIX calls. There's also various ones in the archived webinars under option strategies approaches. In addition to that, let me see if I don't know if I called it SPY strangle, but let me take a look here. Those SPY strangles I've talked about with rolling them and moving them. A discussion on long strangles, that is not it. Here we are, historical, that's not it. Risks of long-term strategy discussion. Okay, maybe this one's the good one. Strategy discussion for SPY QQQ. And I think we went into some of the strategies we'd look at for those positions. There's one. Let me just do strangles. But I mean, you see that we have the discussions on these even from 2 years ago, setting up a basic search, historical performance of SPY straddles, risks of long-term straddles and strangles, and even one from a year ago. No, short strangles, not to do. I don't think that's what I want to do right now. Me personally, although the implied volatility is there in our favor. And I can't. I know there's one, folks. I apologize. Maybe I should just look under SPY. We'll take a look at that later. But again, yeah, some topics there on that discussion as well. And there's going to be more in-depth discussion on that. Kenneth asked a question. Do you have any exposure to Bitcoin? Kenneth, I do not. Some of my friends dipped in here and there over the last 8 or 9 years. Had some money to play with it. I have one friend who actually tried to he built his own computer and he did the farming, I think it's called, for a little bit, a while. Not much, but just trying to do some farming there for a little bit. I do not personally have any exposure to Bitcoin. I don't understand it. Let me rephrase that, Kenneth. I understand the concept of it. I understand what it is. I don't know how to read it. You hear me talking about what I look for in the stocks that I know, the technical indicators that I use, things of that nature. And a lot of times it still follows. I'm just going to use coin as an example. I think that's still the best security that follows. Coinbase still follows it as a general rule. And yeah, I can follow the MACD with it. And again, fake bottom here, didn't quite meet. Oh, but it started to come up here. And just like everything else, it went back down. So many outside forces I don't understand that can affect it, even meme-wise. They can affect the price of Bitcoin, Ethereum, several of the others, Doge, Coin. And I just don't grasp it. I grasp it kind of, but I have enough to do with trying to manage my options trades and having discussions with you guys and talking about the various options trades, what I look for technically, fundamentally, and the options criteria as well. I just never felt the need to delve into that whole aspect. That I missed out on a lot of potential money, I guess, quote unquote coinage, I guess is the term. Possibly, highly possible. I could have jumped in 6 or 7 years ago. I could have just taken a flyer on some of these things. I think Ernie did trade coin, if I'm not mistaken, or maybe even there's new ETFs that are out there now, if I'm not mistaken, following both Ethereum, following both coin, or Bitcoin itself, following Doge coin. I just never touched it because I just can't. I'm more comfortable with seeing what I see, even though sometimes I'm wrong, but with the success rate I've had with following the trends, the technicals I talk about, the option strategies that I use, I just haven't felt the need to delve into something new. And I missed out on some opportunities, I'm sure. I missed out on some, wild stories. I am absolutely sure. I missed out on some good educational aspect of it. I'm absolutely sure, Kenneth. But no, I have no exposure to coin. I have nothing in my portfolio that I think is even related or would be affected in the Bitcoin realm. Coinbase, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Dogecoin, anything along those lines. So just not my game. And I just don't have it. And I'm not interested in looking into it at this time. Focusing on my stuff, as you saw earlier, a lot of things I'm trying to do for everyone right now is do comparisons of this. I showed it a couple weeks ago, I think, but I'm sorry, in the portfolios, the other account, my main actual account, this is just our webinar account, but been trading debit spreads, at the money bull call debit spreads 2 different ways. Been doing the bull put credit spreads, the ones I do, but also changing the criteria and doing it different ways, trying to apply new management techniques. The married puts, of course, VIX calls, SPY strangles, they're not all listed here. Calendar call spreads, diagonal calendar calls, the poor man's covered calls, trying a different approach with that. So I'm trying to analyze those, get together stories and analyzation for you guys of what I've been doing, why I decided to do a different version of it. Maybe, hey, looking at this technical might be a little bit better than what I've been doing. So far, I haven't proven that yet, but it's been ups and downs in a whipsaw market. So I've used the pendulum adjustment on my bull put credit spreads, Kenneth, I think 8 times in the 21 trades that I've opened since January 1st in bull put credit spreads, both in the actual account and in the different technical account I'm trying, not account, but the paper trading and the different technical approach I'm trying to use for that. And it's just, they've worked. I was amazed how well they worked again, but it makes sense because that pendulum adjustment does really well in the right conditions, in the right scenarios. So that's what we're looking at doing, but I'm just focusing on the options, focusing on the different options approaches, the different technical and fundamental criteria that might change a path, might change a view, different structures that might change a path or change a view for educational purposes, in addition to trying to increase my performance as well, and hopefully increase your performance. So I'm not looking to delve into futures. Ron said he's been making a killing. That's not my game. I'm not delving into that. I'm not delving into Bitcoin. I'm not looking at the coin ETFs or anything along those lines. Staying in my lane, Kenneth, for lack of a better term, what's in my wheelhouse for another term, rather than branching out and trying new things. You don't branch out, you do miss opportunities, but at the same time, I am kind of branching out just in my lane, which doesn't really mean branching out. In my tree, I'm branching out. I'm not trying to make a new tree, I guess is a bad analogy that I could use as well, for why I'm not doing Bitcoin and why I'm not looking at futures. I've got enough to handle right now with the options and getting the structures I want, getting the structures you guys want, and showing what can be possible, what works, what doesn't work, and much, much more.